and welcome to our, oh my God, it's 111. The angels are near. It's an angel number. I'm into numerology. It's 111. We're late. We apologize that we're late today, but all for great reasons. I was working on my summer body. No, not really. But that's what we're talking about today. I'm Melissa Moritz, your fearless cohort, co-host, hostess with the mostest of Am I Going to Die? And today we are talking about, am I going to die from a summer body? Wow, that's big. So I invited our physician assistant, Nate Setka, to join me today to dispel my myths.
Yeah, so talking about summer body.
Summer body.
We want to make sure we approach it in a safe manner and that we are deliberate in our planning and in our exercise routine so that we do it as safely as possible.
That's right. So Nate, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick, because I picked you for a reason.
Okay. A little bit about myself. I have a degree in exercise science and wellness. That was my first degree. Joined the military, spent 20 years active duty, and earned my second degree as a physician assistant. So lots of experience with exercise.
Lots of hours in the gym.
Lots of, and on the road.
And on the road.
And on the road, we work outside.
Really?
Most of the time.
In the mud?
Most of the time. In the mud too, yeah. Rain or shine, we're outside training. So.
Have you done a Spartan?
I have. I've done one of those. And it was a sprint though, but I checked that block.
There you go. Very cool. Under the barbed wires?
All of it.
I did
all
one
of it.
too.
Obstacle courses and everything. So 20 years in the military, and now I'm here working with you.
And you were almost to be retired from the military.
31 May. I already have my DD-214. So
thank you for all of your service.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
and my
absolutely.
honor, so.
Phenomenal. So as you can tell, or you can't tell, but he works out every day.
Every day that I can.
So he is going to tell us about a summer body, because a lot of you are probably approaching swimsuit season, right? And then talking about what you're going to do to get in swimsuit season, instead of just loving yourself for who you are and what you've gone through in life. So I'm kind of a proponent of that. But I believe in the exercise for all of the health benefits, especially the mental health. But I've got some great myths, or I think that they could be fact, and he is going to tell us if they're myths or facts. And then ultimately we'll decide if you can die from a summer body. You have to decide.
All right.
From your expertise. So,
perfect.
Crash dieting and fasting makes you lose weight.
So fasting can help you lose weight. Obviously, it's the oldest and most successful cause of losing weight. However, it's not the most favorable way to lose weight alone. We want to make sure that we approach our diet in a sensible manner and that we're eating adequate amounts to support our exercise habits and our lifestyle. So looking at short-term success, fasting temporarily, for a few days and then going hard in the gym can predispose you to some injuries and some fatigue and some other issues. So we want to make sure that if you do elect to fast, that you do your research and that you understand what your timing should be and what your exercise timing should be, so you don't put yourself in a risky behavior. You
guys are going to get some great content out of this today, I can already tell. How about sweating out fat? I feel like when I sweat out, I could sweat out my cellulite.
No, so that's a myth. Obviously, you can't sweat out fat because, fats are cells. They're not the the fluid in our bodies. So going to the sauna simply to lose weight is a temporary solution to a number on a scale. So we're only losing water weight. We're not losing fat weight. So it can be a little misguided when you use the weight scale as a measure of your body composition. But what you want to do is get a true body composition by testing it with calipers or something of that sort and seeing what your actual body fat is. And we can get into a little bit of that on down the road. But to dispel that myth, it will not help you lose body fat. Sweating does not.
But if you want to look good in your bikini for a day, or you have an event like tomorrow, you could go sweat it out in the sauna, and then maybe.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it because the moment you
Don't do it.
replenish
Nate says don't do
your
it.
fluids, you eat, and the sodium you get from, because you're going to get thirsty as a natural consequence of that, and it'll be added just as quickly as you lose it. So I wouldn't do it only to look better. I would do it for other benefits, and there are a lot of benefits to sauna use.
Yeah, absolutely. Renoids is one of them. The more you work out, the better. Tell us. Is that a myth or a fact?
That's 100% fact.
Oh.
I think, but again, you're using a very sensible approach to your fitness regimen, and that you're including variability.
Got it.
So
HIIT workouts.
you could do that. You could also do strictly cardio. You could do strictly weightlifting. You could do yoga. So you don't want to overuse particular muscle groups by focusing on one type of exercise. So if you like to run and you're getting started and you don't want to create an injury or you don't want to create overuse, it may be prove you to run maybe once, twice a week for the first couple of weeks. But if you feel like you are creating momentum, maybe include some weightlifting or include some yoga, things of that sort.
Yep.
But I think that activity, there isn't a magic number for activity. I think it's all, dependent on the individual and your condition. And so it's important for you to kind of do a good assessment of yourself before you start any exercise program.
So this one, I love juicing. I love it. But I recently read that, juicing is healthy. That's how we as marketers, because that's what I do, right? Marketing. We market that juicing is healthy. What do you think about juicing?
So I think juicing can be fine in the proper dosing and the proper timing. So you can get plenty of vitamins and minerals from the juice, from our vegetables and fruits. However, if we use a lot of fruit, we're probably going to have a lot more sugar and some vegetables because we're stripping away the fiber. And fiber is a component that helps balance the simple sugars in the vegetables and fruit. So if we eat the fruit or eat the vegetables, what we have is a total count of carbohydrates, and the fiber in those total counts are subtracting from the sugars because they're not absorbed so quickly into our bodies. And that doesn't raise our blood sugar up, and that doesn't create a insulin response, which, if constantly done throughout life, can create type 2 diabetes. So we just want to make sure we keep our sugar levels under control, and we do it in a moderate fashion.
And there's no protein in juicing.
No, unless you add
it.
protein. There isn't a ton of protein. There may be 1 or 2 grams in some particular vegetables, but you're not going to get protein, what you need, the recommended daily allowance of protein in your juice or fruit or vegetable.
So juicing aside, let's just move to rehydrating. Because if you're in that, summer body, or you're sweating during your workouts to get ready for your summer body, you've got to rehydrate properly. So what would you say is like that I could drink anything to rehydrate on a hot day and I'm good to go?
Well, we recommend water. Water as being your only source of rehydration. However, for example, backing up to fasting, and you're not getting the electrolytes that you need that you lost during exercise from sweating, you may want to add some sort of substitute. So something like Cerolite or Cerasport that has the sodium in it to help you replenish those electrolytes. So I don't recommend any particular type of sports drinks or taking in mounds of juice to replenish your fluids, because you get too much glucose in your body, you're going to create nausea, or you may create an imbalance in some of your electrolytes. So just water is fine, but if you're fasting or you're exercising in prolonged fashions, like an hour or more, and you need some fluids during the exercise routine, something like Cerolite, Cerasport is excellent.
You do, you do need I'm a distance runner, so for me it's refreshing with water and like the Gatorade or whatever they put along the course, or At the end of the long races, I drink chocolate milk.
Oh, okay. So you're getting a little bit of protein and some
yeah.
carbs and replenishing that way.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Right. So how about this one? You can lose weight fast, just in general.
You could, but it'd be dangerous. So we want to make sure that you're using common sense again. And if you're new to an exercise routine or a particular diet, that you obviously talk to your physician first, especially if you have any other comorbidities that pre-exist prior to your exercise routine.
Like what?
Like hypertension, type 2 diabetes, central obesity, hyperlipidemia. We want to make sure that you are taking the most sensible, safest approach to your routines. So my recommendation is, one, speak to your physician first. But if you're a normal, healthy individual, I think it's safe to say that you could start a routine. But take bite-sized approaches to your new fitness program, because that way you can create a lifestyle habit. And by creating that continuity, you're going to create sort of a rhythm for you to maintain the weight that you lost, rather than having a quick weight loss, which causes a rebound if you go back into your old lifestyle habits.
Oh, so you could put in and be regimented for a certain amount of time, lose weight, get ready for your summer body, be summer body ready in your bikini, and then just go back to your old ways, and that's going to be worse for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so you don't want your body weight to fluctuate, because there are some long-standing effects, with your metabolism.
Right.
If you go up and down and up and down, you want to create a habit of keeping a normal routine where you're, most of the time you're watching what you eat, most of the time you're going to the gym, most of the time you're taking a sensible approach to your lifestyle habits and staying as active as possible.
So it's really about, if you want to be summer body ready, you've got to be life ready.
Exactly.
Oh, God, that's good.
That was good.
You just have to take on a whole new mindset, routine, discipline. Before we started the show, I asked Nate if he had heard or read the David Goggins book. And
Can't Hurt Me, right?
Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, excellent book.
Phenomenal, but it's about a discipline and a mindset, and then following a routine.
Absolutely.
So my advice to you is, if you want to be summer body ready, be ready for life. Get yourself in shape with all the different aspects of your life. But you, with all of your background and knowledge and education, let me ask you the question. And can you die from some sort of summer body getting ready routine?
So let's kind of erase all the illnesses and diseases. If we're taking a normal, healthy individual,
Okay.
and they're starting a routine, if they take a sensible approach and plan it, and are careful that, obviously you can't, I don't want to discourage exercise, but if you go in looking for that miracle cure, and you take a bunch of supplements with ingredients that you aren't familiar with, things that increase our metabolism, you go outside in our Georgia heat,
Yeah.
and you run 6 miles for the first time in your life, you may end up causing a problem. And there's a list of things that can happen to you which can predispose you to a significant injury or even death.
Yeah, so you can die.
Yeah, so one of the things that we see a lot of in Georgia is heat stroke. And how people fall into that danger is they do exactly what I just said.
Got it.
They come in from another state, Wisconsin, didn't prepare by running outside. They may be a little bit dehydrated, or they may not have their diet right because they're trying to diet to get in shape for whatever program or for whatever event that they're getting ready for. So their nutrients or the electrolytes may be down. They may not have the sodium they need to sustain a longer run. And then they go outside and push themselves as hard as they can.
Right.
And what can happen is that your core body temp goes up about 140 degrees or higher. You end up suffering the consequences of increasing our heat in our bodies, maybe go into some sort of altered mental status. You collapse, you experience syncope, and you fall out, you pass out. So you can put yourself at a big risk for not taking proper precautions. So we want to make sure that if you elect to take a running routine, that you condition yourself. And the way that you do that is simply by going outside, acclimating to the heat before you dedicate yourself to a certain time of running. You make sure that your nutrients on par to support your activity, and then you take baby steps. And one key that I hope most people take from this is that they quit before it hurts or before they push it too far. So when you feel you're in a good mindset or a good state of health, and you feel like you could still push yourself even further and further, that's when I would say allow yourself to have that win. That way you can come back the next day.
That's a great way. Yeah.
And repeat the cycle.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So if you're pushing yourself, you're exerting yourself in the heat, and then you start to see stars, stop. Like, that's enough. But
Yes.
no, go for the win. Go for the satisfaction that you got yourself out there and you did some sort of exercise. And then there's always concerns about the sports over the summer and, conditioning yourself for a variety of different sports and the coaches pushing your children. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But thank you so much for being here today.
Okay,
We appreciate
very cool.
it.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of fun. As always, thank you for joining us. We hope that we have given you something great to take with you and to apply to your daily routine and lifestyle, or to push yourself into a new routine. Don't forget.
There's an online question. Is keto safe?
Is keto safe? Oh
Is
my
keto-
God, we got an
We got a
online question.
So
Is keto safe?
So talking about nutrition, my disclaimer is I am not a nutritionist. So
But you played one on TV.
But if you are, have any other pre-existing conditions, always talk to your doctor before you take on any new nutrition program. But I believe keto can be safe. And what keto, what they're referring to is a diet program where it's predominantly fat with some moderate proteins and light carbs. And what the idea is that by eating that particular way, you are burning through your fat easier by using ketones instead of glucose to supplement your energy. And you're not raising your insulin when you eat predominantly carb-heavy foods. Because what happens is when we eat insulin, we spike our insulin up, that directs the body to store more body fat. So if we keep it controlled by eating predominantly fat where it doesn't affect our insulin so much, we can rely on ourselves being fuller longer and by burning more fat. So I think that it's safe as long as you speak to your doctor first and you take a sensible approach to your diet program.
So I do my own self thing. I push my body into ketosis by fasting.
Okay, and you can do that. You can do food restriction for
Willpower, baby.
for a particular window. You can have an eating window where it's 6 to 8 hours, and then a non-eating window about 16 hours or whatever. And that's an excellent way to help promote fat loss, but it also can help influence a healthy balance of our hormones. So that way we're influencing muscle growth too, burning fat, and
Not storing the bad stuff either.
exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you for asking us this question today. I'm so excited. You just
Very
made
cool.
my whole day. So, as always, we're going to sign off for today. If you've enjoyed having Nate here today, let us know so he can come back. I'd love to have you again. And Nate is going to be seeing patients and taking good care of people who need our help in their ears, nose, and throats. But all that being said, I hope you've enjoyed Am I Going to Die? Send us any suggestions. We have a couple of great shows and content coming up in the future, but we're always looking for more. Or if you're an expert in something and you want to join the show with Crazy Me, bring your expertise, bring your facts, and let me ask my myths. So have a great day, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Over and out.